Welcome back to the Juggernaut, Act 5. Between the last video and now, I've replaced a couple of my rings. This one that dropped gave me 46% lightning resistance, and this one has 27 fire, 50 increased rarity, and 8% to all elemental resistances. So the rings that I had before, this one had some dexterity on it. So the armor that I had before also had dexterity. It required a lot of dex to be able to wear it. And when I took the ring off, I couldn't wear the armor anymore. So then I looked for another armor with fire. So this has a little less life, but it's got 22% fire resistance, and it's really got a good armor amount for, you know, whatever, level 40 something right now. So 44 I think I am. So I thought this was decent. So my resists are now 72, 64, and 75. So I feel like that's pretty decent. I was curious about something here. Alright. I did take a look at my different like two-handed melee weapons that I've got too. The one that I needed to be 41, that one has some fire damage on it, and I think that I looked at that right before I found the brutality gem. But brutality makes it so you can't do elemental or chaos damage, just physical, and it does the physical, it increases it by 25%. So I wanted to keep that gem. Speaking of gems, I've still forgotten to put fortify in. You know what, let's just, now that I barely walked away from it, but let's go ahead and get fortify here. Here's fortify. Replace chance to bleed support with fortify. And now,
yes,
we take a look. Chance to inflict bleeding from main hand hits still 100%, so it's perfect. And now we also have fortify as well, so that'll make us a little bit tankier. And we didn't have to spend 4 or 5 points on the tree to get it, so that's not bad. You know, there's you know, other support gems that I could use, and I could still take that on the tree because it's an option on the tree. That's nice too. Given the current support gems that we have, I feel like this is the best setup. The chance to bleed support did come in handy for a while. And luckily I was going to replace it with close combat, which still might be better than some other gems, but I would require a green socket for that, and I didn't see an armor that had 3 reds and a green, but I didn't look too thoroughly, so that could still be an option too. So I don't think maim is doing that much. Like it gives us a little bit of extra damage, and then when we maim, I think it just gives an increased chance to bleed, which we don't need that increased chance to bleed. So maybe it would make sense to replace maim with close combat. Because close combat, I read it, and it does up to 25% more damage at level 1, right? Depending on your distance. So because we're doing like slams, maybe where that guy was like standing right over here, maybe that would only do 15% more damage, right? And it would be 25 if you're right in their face. But 15% more damage would still be good. Yeah, it does more damage essentially the closer you are to them. So I still get right in people's face sometimes when I slam too, so I've come into a dead end here. That might actually be better than maim. I think that would be better than maim. So we'll see. We'll see if we can find a 4 socket with 3 reds, 1 green. And then we'll see. It won't be reflected on the whatever the beat, the stats, whatever, because close combat is like conditional based on your proximity to the person. So therefore, you can't just see it and reflected in numbers Right, you could do it in path of building. You could say, well, what if it was on, or what if I was close, or whatever. I don't know if you can specify like how far you are from the thing. It can probably give you at least the max, but we probably wouldn't see anything at all, just by looking at the stats here in game. But by reading the gem, it's 25%. When you're as close as you can be, so, and then it goes down from there. How rapidly it goes down, I don't know. But I still think that would work out better than the MAME support. So I've got 20 Fortify on right now. And I think it's 1% damage reduction per point of it. I'm going to read it in a second. I just have to kill these things first. Yeah, player takes 1% less damage from hits per fortification. I've got 20, pretty much. And as long as I'm hitting things, I'm pretty much keeping 20. Now, it's from hits, not spells, but... okay. There's not a lot of spells that would be doing physical damage anyway. They'd be doing elemental damage, in which case your resistances are mitigating that damage, I think. So it's funny, when I, like, essentially, when you hit once again, you don't have to build up the 20. That's what I was curious about, is it to start with 1 and then with each hit you gain more? No, the moment it goes away, if you hit an enemy again, it just immediately goes right back to 20. So that's actually a really good defensive option. And then the fact that it also gives more damage too, for the skills that it supports, like that's very nice. I'm really glad that dropped in the lab. Oh, Sunder has leveled up again. So let's take a look and see exactly how much additional damage we get from Sunder. So Sunder right now, we're going from 7 to 8. We're getting 2,043 damage. We level it up. 2134. So it's still like 100 damage from the gem leveling up once. So that's not too bad. Oh wow, I'm already here. Alright, so I don't think Innocence should be such a pain with this build. I'm actually feeling pretty confident that he'll be like he normally feels, which is like a minor inconvenience that you just have to suffer through his, you know, immunity phases. That's really the most annoying part usually about him, that you can't just kill him right away. You gotta wait till he does that stuff, spawns a bunch of ads, and becomes vulnerable again. But that's what I'm expecting. I could be wrong. Maybe I won't be doing as much damage as I think, but this still feels pretty good right now. Now, I do have I think it's an axe that I can equip at level 52. And this damage on this one is like something like 79 to 149. I'll check in a moment. Yeah, 79 to 149. The other one does something, it goes up to like 185 or something. And then it also has like 1 to 200 fire damage, which I know we can't use with Brutality, but you know, depending on how that works out. I'm not trying to stack fire damage, so, you know, but even the physical is more than this. But I don't remember what the attack speed was. If it's the same or if it's a little bit less. We'll see if that's a better axe or not. And of course, I'll be keeping my eye out and picking up any, you know, big axes or maces that drop. And I'll hold off picking up nodes on the tree until the very end that either commit me to either maces or axes. I always make this mistake, man. Come into this little zone where whatever his name is. He gets corrupted by Katava, that's where he spawns and you gotta kill him. Atula. See, even the mirages like aren't annoying me nearly as much because I can just kill all the enemies, right? And this is generally how it feels when you're playing regular Path of Exile. If you have like any half decent build, you're not bothered by these guys because you kill them all so quickly. But on some of the other builds I've been playing in Ruthless lately, they've just felt weaker, and it makes it a little bit more just a little bit more exasperating or something. Like you just kind of feel tired of it, right? It just makes you feel immediately like not more of this. But that's certainly not how I feel with this build. This build feels awesome, and I've been using this mace or whatever since like Act 2. It's phenomenal. I don't know what the good bases are, but like as you level up, right, more and more bases become available and you can buy them at the vendors or whatever, and you know, whatever the highest one is, that's the one that I would choose to try and roll with. You know, probably start with an essence, and then if it was a really good base and they weren't very common, like I would even use a Chaos Orb if what rolled wasn't what I wanted, and I'd hope to get something better with the Chaos Orb. I think I've got 5 Chaos Orbs. You know, I'm doing this as SSF, so I'm not looking to trade. So the Chaos Orbs are just good for re-rolling stuff, and like, yeah, you can wait until maps and re-roll a map if you get something that you don't want to run, or if it's got, you know, physical reflect for this build or something. But you know, if you need it before then, and you use it before then, that's how it is. You know, you deal with the maps when you get to maps and figure that out, but I'm not looking just to throw away my currency or anything, but I'm just saying that Chaos Orbs are, they give you the ability to re-roll a rare item, so find a good base and you roll it and it doesn't turn out to be what you wanted, you can always try again with a Chaos Orb or two. There we go. I put punishment on this guy. I don't feel like it did that much more damage to do that. Alright, I'm not going to concern myself with that guy. So I've leveled up twice. Gotta look at my POB and see where I want to put the points, what would make the most sense at this point. Like, even those lightning beams weren't damaging me really, so... Character's feeling more and more tanky. And nothing will ever hinder or chill or freeze me. And that feels really good.
I cannot carry this.
I think I can. Alright, I probably picked up some stupid thing that I don't need. What's it in here? Alright, my Fortify... I'll level it up at least a few times. Alright, so I wanted to look here. See where my point's going to go now. Alright, so if I was going to commit to axes, I would go down here to here. But I'm not ready to commit to axes yet. I can take this extra life. Fortify. Another thing that I can do... You know, these are giving me some elemental resistances, armor, and +1 to max resists. So I'm about to kill Katava, and then I'm going to lose 30% resist. So I'm going to take these. That's 10% elemental resistances. This will give me more armor and 1 to max. So yeah, I'll go here for now. Not that I'm ready to kill Katava yet, but that's happening relatively shortly. So I wouldn't mind having the extra 10% resist. Because I wasn't even capped before I did that. I'm closer to being capped now. Cold still might not be. The other ones are. Oh, I love to pick up that bone armor. Oh, that's alright, you know what I can do? Alright, that axe is useless, so I can get rid of it. Yeah, there's always a lot of magic monsters right around here. Good for XP. I mean, I'm not gonna not pick up some nice rare boots. I can't do anything here without dropping something that I don't want to drop. Right.
Thank you.
Gives me a thing. So I took the Jade Flask last time. I'll take another Armor Flask. What is this one here? Diamond Flask. That gives you critical strike chance. I'm not doing crits, so I'm not going to do that. Identify and sell. These are chromatics. Chromatic, chromatic. No, that's not linked. All right.
Remember, we do this for freedom.
I simply can't.
A skill point from Valenta. Look at Utula's wares. The Gilded Axe. 99. nothing worth there. Alright, so the 2 more points, I'm going to take this, and then I think I will make my way down here. And as I go over, I'll come down into this. That's just generic 2-handed weapons, which is fine. And then I take something here. What do I take? Oh, that's like red sockets and green sockets. I can't be guaranteed about red and green sockets at this point. And then these things will give me more endurance charges. There's life up here, and then there's some resistances here too, so I'll work my way towards those. So just killing these magic monsters because it's a good opportunity for XP. They're already here. Alright, let's see how we do with this guy.
The world must be cleansed of impurity. Kneel! Rise! I am the Emperor.
Alright. We will find out how we do against innocence here. Alright, well the first phase wasn't bad. First phase of innocence, I mean. Avarius or whatever wasn't bad at all. See, this is the normal annoyance with the innocence fight, so you have to wait for him to like go through his immunity phase like this. You just want to get on with it. At least if I can hit him, I can keep applying the bleeds. Alright, so this thing is still deadly. Alright, survive that. He should be down before... There we go. Not bad. Not bad at all.
Innocence.
Certainly less frustrating than my elementalist.
I am sin. What in damnation? You've destroyed.
Alright, so if I go get the waypoint, go down to the reliquary, and then into the ossuary, and then fight Kitaba. We're almost a half an hour in. We should be able to do this in this episode. I was shocked ground on death and hasted, but he was tanking my hits quite well there. But I didn't see an affix that he had or whatever that was making it, that was clearly responsible for him being so tanky. It's not because I'm not hitting, because I can't miss now with my resolute technique. I'll take a four-length helmet. Those are red and blue. This guy has extra projectiles, but like, I know he throws something at you like from off the screen initially, but then he just comes and tries to like swipe you. And then he turns into a worm when he dies.
Choose what you wish.
Silver jewel cache. Yeah, that could be good, but not looking for jewels at this point. Alright, give me a second here. Take a sip of my coffee. While it's still warm. I mean, I don't understand what happened there. I killed him and he came back. When I looked at like his stats, it didn't say like, will resurrect upon death or something.
Approach. What is your desire?
You never know how important a 4-link is until you don't have it and you need it. A certain combination of sockets and gems, and you don't have a lot of chromatics. And well, I'd love to equip these things, but I can't do it. And on Ruthless, sometimes you're desperate to, get a little boost. And if you actually have the gems, but you don't have the sockets to equip them, that feels awful. Alright, so I forgot that we also have to kill Atula. I guess we might as well go back and drop this stuff off.
You deserve recognition.
Alright, there's an uncut
Once
gemstone.
Kitava has
Nope. That's what I meant to do. Right, that's no good. That's a chromatic. Chromatic. It's got 20% movement speed and 3 resists. Those are excellent. Unfortunately, my boots are what has my my gems right now. That's the only 4-link that I have equipped. That could change though. These are still excellent, and these actually have a high dex requirement too. But they're still excellent, excellent, excellent boots to find.
We do this for
3 resists. Like all that's missing is life. It's awesome. Alright, let's put them in my movement speed. Here, put this in. And I'll put these in my 4 links. Alright. Oh, Bannon. He's gonna tell us to kill.
Good luck out there. I'm here.
He
to
sells
serve
stuff though.
us.
He has something good. What are his axes like? So I'm looking for like 100 to 200, 100 to like 200 damage is like around the range that I'm looking for physical damage, in order to like be a lot better than what I'm currently using.
Innocence forgives you.
I'll show you the axe that I can equip at 52. I still think it'll be a bit better than what I've got. This one here. So 131 to 182. Right now I'm doing 79 to 149. So even without that fire damage, if I wasn't using brutality, then that fire damage would give me some more damage too. But I mean, brutality is just so good. Can't do elemental damage with it. Either way, I still think that'll be a better two-handed weapon at that point, and I'm glad that I do have something better, but that's the best one that I've got. So, you know, either that's going to take me through to the maps, you know, to like, you know, beating the campaign, or I'm going to have to try and roll something, or hopefully maybe something drops, of course, later on too. Alright, Tula, Reliquary, Ossuary, Kitava. So before I level up my gem, Fortify that's come up on the right there, I will look at it probably once I defeat Attila. I want to see what each point is doing. The supported skills deal 10% more damage with ailments caused by melee hits, and supported skills 10% more melee damage, right? But that's what it was at level 1 as well. That was exactly what it was. So maybe if I level it up again here, and then take a look at it. Is it this one? 11%. So it seems to be every 2 levels you get another percentage. I mean, it might not be consistently 2 levels. It might just start out that way, and then it might even take more levels, or, you know, sometimes they have it. It's not like exactly linear, but I know differently. Every 2 levels you get good. I'm seeing if I can tank them. That wasn't bad. Alright. Reliquary. I'm level 48, so I am over leveled, which I usually prefer to be. But yeah, I'm coming over here to get these resists. So it's for 12 and 4, so that's 16% all resists. That's 4 more skill points to get all those. I might get a skill point from one of these things. I think Bannon gives me like a piece of gear. Is it like a dumb piece of gear that's useless usually? I might get a skill point for this quest that I'm currently doing. And then I could level up like once or twice before getting to Kitava, but probably not 3 times. But either way, even if I'm not quite there yet, when I start off level 6, if I have, you know, a little bit of a, you know, not maxed resist, if it's only like a level or 2 before they get closer to max, then that's not too bad. This isn't hardcore after all. My dog just walked by my room outside. He was looking to come and see me, but I got my door shut. Big old Saint Bernard. Well, he's a Saint Bernese, actually. He's a Saint Bernard mixed with a Bernese mountain dog. Big boy. About 176 pounds, I think. We just had him weighed at the vet. I love him. He's a big suck. What's doing this stuff? It must have been one of those. I must have been one of those floating guys. Can't really see him in the midst of all that stuff. I'm a lightning golem. Okay. Lightning golem's the golem that I had with my elementalist. But sure, I'll take another one. I don't know how war cries work, because I just did 2 kind of by mistake there. Does the one overwrite the other, or does the first one count and the other one doesn't really do anything? There is a war cry circle on the tree that maybe because I'm not taking Fortify, maybe I could spec into that a little bit. I'll take a look at it and see if there's something good there. This guy's like taking a little while to kill. That's more like it. Is the Timber Axe a big 2-hander? Yes. I'll take it just to see. Run, that's fire damage too. Alright, this might have a key in it. Nope. Alright, so the key must be up here. Oh, not up here. Like up at the next artifact. Just go back to the waypoint and go into that door. keys. See if I get anything out of the chest. Let's try anyway. Yeah. Alright, so hopefully Lonnie gives me a skill
Not
point.
all slaves.
Quick skill. Yeah, quick skill. Right click to gain a passive skill point. Good. Identify these items. Oh, I didn't mean to pick that up, I guess. This isn't a bad axe. I mean, it's only got the one affix on it, like, and it's 63 to 131. If this also rolled, like, if I augmented it and got, like, a, 88%, increased physical damage, this would be better than the one that I have here. Alright, but do I want to waste an augment on it? Probably not. But maybe. This has got good resistance and life. It's dex based, but I still could maybe use that on my Oberlash guy. Right?
Remember, we do this for freedom.
This lightning golem that I got. Let's put this in my pairs. This will go in the... What? Is this going to go in 4 links? You know what? Those are exactly the colors that I might want. And usually I would sell that for a chromatic, but I'm going to keep it as a 4 link just in case. Now, if we go to my currency, I've got 22 augments. You know what? Let's see. Can we get increased physical? No, a high degree of increased physical. Increased stun duration. That's disappointing. However, it's worth a try. Oh, I leveled up because I got that point. Alright, so I'm going over here. Take this one and this and then this. Alright, let's go to the ossuary. Oh, I forgot to talk to Bannon. But Bannon just gives me a piece of gear. And I think in the history of ever, it's always been a bad piece of gear. What is this guy doing? A couple of exerted attacks and he's down. Something was like hurting me big time there. Maybe this guy's he's poisoning me. That's what it is. That's like effectively chaos damage over time. Well, I didn't mean to pick up that timber axe. Just happened to grab it when I put my mouse down. $48 to $99. So we got the sign of purity. Sunder just leveled up again.
An empire.
I don't have to do this. I can just go. Let's go talk to Bannon at least.
The high priest is dead.
So what do we got here? It's got good accuracy, but I don't need accuracy. I mean, all I'll do is I'll take one of these so that when I sell it,
Hello.
I will get 2. Oh, I got 3 transmutation shards for that.
Remember, we do this for freedom.
Yeah, I've never had him give me a single thing that I think has been of use whatsoever. Other than to get, I thought 2 shards was the most you could get for those pieces, but I got 3. I still got to look up what gives alchemy shards. I'm not familiar yet. It's just kind of random to me that sometimes you happen to get an alch shard. But there's got to be certain affixes that do it, and I just don't know what they are. Alright, I don't think Kitava will be much of a threat. Leveled up. Alright, so my next 2 levels will give me 16% more elemental resist. Right now I'm sitting at... My cold is the one that's not quite capped yet. These ones are a little bit over. So I should be close to capped on the 2 of them after I get those 2 points. But when I first start Act 6, I'm going to be a little weak. Look, I've got all kinds of curses on me, including that temporal chains. Look at me walking around like there's nothing on me. That, my friends, is unstoppable. And that's why I love it. I have to admit, it might just be because I'm an old man now, but I'm telling you, I like this. I like this Juggernaut. It feels good to play with a good weapon. It doesn't feel as good to play without a good weapon. But I love Unstoppable. I love feeling like even these guys, like it's just a minor inconvenience to stand there and kill them versus like it's like soul crushing on some of those other builds to get stuck behind some, you know, tanky mobs that you gotta try and like cut down. Alright, so this guy, let's cut him to half, and I'll curse him. There we go. Let's exert. Now I'll take the boots. His thing said he had a temporary proximity shield, but his proximity shield, as far as I saw, it never went away. That didn't look very temporary to me. Another thing you can do before you roll a weapon, you know, when you're doing something that's like attack based or whatever, is you can use your blacksmith rubber stones on it, because it does give it a little bit more damage. But I wouldn't use them on like a rare one. It's only when it's like first white before you roll anything else on it, because I think that on a rare one you'd have to actually put 20 to get the 20% quality. And like I think I've got 30 some odd, so that would be like half of my shards right there. Or half of my whatever, stones, whatever they're called. Alright, Kitava. Good thing is I'm gonna bleed him too. he doesn't seem to care about my totem at all there. That's funny. That was going right for me. Oh, it snuck up to me. Wow. Well, at least I can tank one of his slams. Good to know. I'm not doing damage as quickly as I'd like to, I'll admit. Oh, he's just decided that can't fool him with that totem. I put the totem right on the heart, but sure. All right. Alright, well I did it. But I honestly thought that would be easier than it was. Now in terms of my damage, I wasn't doing as much damage as I thought I would be. But it didn't feel weak either, I thought it would go quicker.
The flame of hope may flicker, but it cannot be extinguished. There is no...
Alright, Katava's cruelty has permanently weakened me by 30% on all of my resistances.
I'm Captain Lily Rock. Remember? This... Alright, don't think time and tide wait for no man.
Despite, remember, humanity needs us.
The names, don't give up.
I'm Rock. Don't eat the mushrooms.
Don't eat the mushrooms, what?
Farewell.
A weird thing to tell me in a video game. Alright, let's go to Bestel,
Still working.
ID this stuff, and see what I've got. So I've got boots with no movement speed. And this, although not terrible, isn't good. What level am I now? 49. So in 3 more levels I can equip the other weapon. Oh yes, yes. I'd like to find something. Is the opposite of this. I want 3 reds and a green. Now whether I have it, let's take a look at 4 links for starters. Here's 3 reds and a green. Boots, but you're not going to roll movement speed on them in all likelihood. I mean, it's possible, but that's unfortunate. That's the first one that I found, but it's not what I want to use. So this has all reds. You know, I can throw a chromatic at one and hopefully just get a green. Which might be better, because anything that might naturally have green might have dex requirements, and I don't have a lot of dex. So it'd be better to try and throw a... So this one's not bad. It's got 38 cold res. Now what I could do... Oh, it's not linked. I thought it was 4 linked. It's not. It's just 2 and 2. Huh. That's funny. Almost tricked me. So all that I can see is one of two things. I can either let's maim, because maim only gives me 10% more physical damage. Enemies maimed by such protocols take 10% increased. Oh, well, okay. I thought for some reason it had talked about some chance to bleed. It doesn't do a chance to bleed. So you take 10% more physical damage. If you maim them, they also take 10% increased physical damage, and that increased means that it's 10% increased on all of the damage that you're doing to them. You know, physical damage. So, and I'm only doing physical. So that's actually not too bad, right? Whereas that, because that's always 10%. 30% of the time, it's going to be another 10%. Although the close combat, I have the dex. I wouldn't be leveling this up, right? So supported skills deal up to 25% more melee damage to enemies based on proximity. And it does some combat stuff that I don't care. Oh, it can only be used with axes and swords. That's good to know. Because I'm not using an axe yet, so that would be really dumb if I rolled it to equip that. That would have been terrible. Alright, who sells the stuff here? Tarkley. Let's at least look at what he has to offer. So this is like what I have here, a jagged maul. No, that's a spiny maul. It looks the same, but it's just different. This isn't bad. 117 to 176. It's got the 63% increased physical damage. Now you could also regal that and hope that you get a flat physical on it too. However, here's the thing. That's not bad, and for 2 alts, I could certainly afford it. I've got 16 alts now. But if I go down to my trusty Marauder stuff and I look at this axe, oh, this axe requires 65 dex. And it does 131 to 182. What was that one? It was less than that, but by how much more?
Welcome.
31 to 182. So its high end is pretty similar. Its low end is about 15 or 16 less. So yeah, that other axe is certainly better, but it requires a really high dex roll. And I've got 47 dex, and I've got an amulet that's giving me 23 dex. Like, I don't want to have to... I'd have to take like a... I'd have to take a dex point on the tree to get 25 more dex. Would that even give me 65? Yes. Yeah, so essentially 18 more dex would give me 65. So if I took one node on the tree, like on the passive tree, one dex node, I could take this one right here. I'm already here. That'll probably be what I do, because I feel like that axe is still better. Now, what's its attacks per second? 1.3. What this thing here? 1.2. See, this one's slower and it does less damage. So it's better to get the dex and get that thing. That's what I'll do. Alright, so we're an hour into the video. We've gotten to Act 6. The Juggernaut's still feeling great. I'm sure it'll feel even a bit better when I equip that better axe. And then I'll see about maybe using close combat as a support once I'm using an axe. Yeah, I don't want to ruin these boots. I mean, I wouldn't ruin them, but I don't want to like roll a chromatic just to get the green on these boots, only to find out that, you know, well, levels down the road, I find a mace that's even more powerful, and then I can't use close combat with it because I can only use it with axes or swords, and then I'll be kind of stuck. So I might roll the armor. I've got a red armor in there with 4 links, so I might just try and roll a green socket onto that so that I have boots with 4 reds, or I have armor with 3 reds and a green, so I can kind of go either or, depending on what comes up, what drops. But anyways, thank you for joining me. Please like and subscribe, and please join me for the next episode as I tackle Act 6 with my Sunder Juggernaut. Thanks very much. Have a good night. Bye-bye.